Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another layout update, and today is May the 14th, and I thought I would go ahead and show you some more things that are coming out. I thought now would be a good time since we're about due for another layout update, so I thought why not now. So basically what you're looking at to start off with are two AWVR units. And these are both AC4400CWs from the movie Unstoppable. I have 777 and 767. These are yet another set of the units that I've done for a client, and currently I am just finishing these up, along with two 1206 units over here. One is going with this set, and the one in the far back is going with another set which I already sent out. So those both should be done soon. They're both in the process of painting, and well, they're done being painted. Basically it's like the detail painting, mainly making the heralds and doing the pinstriping, and then the chevrons on both the high and low nose. So basically those are coming along, and those should be done here pretty soon. So I'll have another update on those soon enough. Basically, I started doing these a while back, and this is actually a special set because this is the first Athearn RTR set. See, basically every set I've done in the past was blue box units, because that's what I priced them out for, was to use blue box units to keep things relatively cheap. This particular guy I'm working with wanted the ready-to-roll models, so I went ahead and bought, I think one of them, I think this one is a Ferromex AC4400, and then this one is a Ferris Sur, or is it a I think it's a Kansas City Southern AC4400. Anyways, both of those got repainted. I added all the details, did all the paint work. There are some decals on it, like the numbers, but even those are customized to have like the yellow pinstriping around them. Basically, it took me a couple months to put these out, but they look really good, and I'm really happy with them. All the logos are hand painted on both sides of the high hoods of the unit. Even the nose heralds are custom made. They're a combination of decal and hand painting. So they're looking really good, and those should be done here in another week or so of some work. So I'll have another update on the AWVR units once they're complete, so you guys can see those when they're done. I'm really getting excited about these. I can't wait to see what they'll. Well, I can't wait to see them when they're done. That'll be really nice. In particular, 1206. That'll be really cool. So yeah, I'll have another update on those soon enough. So next up are these two SD45T-2's, and right off the top, you may be wondering why I have a model or two models of the same unit. Well, let me explain. This unit right here, the one that's packaged up, was custom painted by me, and this guy right here is the factory painted Athearn model. I'll try to get into more detail here in just a second. Basically what I did, I wanted a model of LTEX 4912 for a long time now. I've never been able to get it, simply because it was one of their top sellers back when it was released in like 2008. I think it was 2008, and basically I wanted to get a model of this unit for my collection. I never could find it. Basically they sold out instantly, and they were released in, there were three of them, just like in real life there were only three LTEX SD45T-2's that were in UP Armor Yellow. They were 9965, this one 4912, and 4972. The only differences between them, the patch jobs were different. 4912 had this patch job, 9965 had yellow safety stripes on the sill, and then all of this on the sill was painted black and had safety stripes. But the patch, and then the battery doors and all this was painted black as well. And then 4912 just had a little black dot where the UP shield was removed. And then also the patch wasn't a full body patch like this one. It was just a straight band covering the Union Pacific lettering. So that's just the differences between them. But yeah, 3 of them were released by Athearn. I have 2 of them now, 4912 and 4972. So, like I said, I wanted a model of 4912 really bad. Recently, I kind of got back involved since I kind of set it aside for a while working on some other things. And basically, I decided to go ahead and try to get back in the search for 4912. Long story short, I still never found it. I probably should have expected that, being that here we are several years later. They would just be 10 times rarer by this point. So it was really hard. I didn't know what to do at first, and then kind of in the end I got to the point where I was like, well, I can't find the actual model, so why not make one? What's nice about it is that Athearn, along with making the patched version of 4912, made the Union Pacific 4912, which is this unit right here. And what they did was they just had 2 of the same unit in different versions, which was really weird. I'm not sure why they did that, but it ended up turning out to be a blessing for me, so that's good. Anyways, what I did was I went ahead and started searching for the other version of 4912, excuse me, which is the Union Pacific version. And what I went ahead, I got the model, I did all the patching myself. This is all custom. All the black patches were masked off, sprayed on, and the LTEX decals were made by hand from stripe decals, and they were put together, and then I banded them with a white red outline to match the red striping, which is really cool. I like that. It came out really good. Along with the decals, I did all the detail work, weathered it, basically gave it its modern, grimy appearance, particularly mainly the rust around the grills, the air intakes, and then the radiator grills, all that soot and exhaust along the roof, around the fans. I did some all the detail work, like I said. I added the AC unit, air lines, the antenna, all the details on the front, like the ditch lights, the MU cables, the plow. Another interesting thing about LTEX 4912 is that somewhere along the line it lost a number board, and what they did was they made a new one. The first one they added to this unit was just a regular white number board with spray painted numerals. Later on, when LTEX got it back, they just added this simple 4912 number board to it, and then put it back out in lease service. So that's really cool. It's not very often you see units with mismatched number boards like this, so that was a really interesting detail. And I just made that by removing one of the original 4912 number boards, and then adding a new one, painting it, and then decaling it. So that came out really good, and that's a really cool detail. So yeah, I did all the patching, all the details are on, it's weathered, it looks really good. But basically, what ended up happening here, and why I have the 2 now, is because I happened to be on eBay shortly after I gave up my search for 4912, and someone happened to post 2 of the LTX units from the Athearn's the 3 unit series, and just by luck I happened to bid on it, and I won it. I paid a little. I paid quite a bit for it though. It was like it ended up being like $170. But I wanted it, so I guess it's worth it. Anyways, I got the RTR model now, so I'm really happy. But I'll go ahead and point out the differences between my model and the factory model. Really, you really can't tell the difference. Like if you look at them both side by side, they literally look the same. You can see that basically from here. I'll try to point out how you can tell them apart. So it's a matter of looking at the middle patches. On the real LTEX unit here from Athearn, the patch extends past this hood here and onto this door right here, while on my model, in the same location, it stops right at this hood where the horn is. So you can see the differences here. That's one way you can tell them apart. Also, on the Athearn model, the LTEX decal is printed on, so it looks much more cleaner, and it's a little fatter, which is a little inaccurate, but it's okay. On my model, those are scale life LTEX decals, and they look a lot more realistic to the true prototype. So that's the only real way you can tell these two apart is the patchwork. But other than that, they're both basically the same units, as you can see. The really nice thing about the Athearn RTR unit is that they modeled it farther back in time when it still had the spray painted numbers on the white number board, compared to later on when they added the actual engraved number board with the actual printed numbers. So I'm glad Athearn actually modeled that. That's really cool. So there's both 4912s, and they both came out really well. The only thing I did differently with the factory model was I added some extra details. Unlike, I'll get them moved over. Unlike my version of 4912, I did some extra detail work to the factory model, and I'll just point it out real quick. You can see the difference. My model doesn't have the knuckle brackets. This one, the factory model, I added them. So that looks really good. And then I added the MU cable hanging off of the little chain and then hanging down alongside the coupler. So those are some extra details I added to that unit. So both of them look really good though, and I'm really happy with both. But I can't really keep both of them since it's unprototypical to have two of the same units. So I'm going to go ahead and sell my version. It's currently on eBay right now. So I'm just going to sell that, and I'm going to keep the RTR model. So for sure though, I'm really happy with how both of them turned out. So those are really cool. I'll just go ahead and put this back in the box for now. Alright, so while we're still talking about the LTEX SD45Ts, I thought I would go ahead and show you yet another LTEX unit I made. This one I painted recently. I had some extra black paint laying around, so I thought I would paint this unit I got on eBay. It was originally a Union Pacific unit, but I repainted it because I wanted an LTEX black Bandit unit. Excuse me. So what I did, I got an Athearn RTR unit on eBay, and this one was fresh out of the box. I stripped it, I repainted it black, and then renumbered it 9303, which is a former SP tunnel motor that LTEX has. It's an SD45T-2. It looks really good. It's all custom painted. I added all the safety decals. Just like on the 4912 unit, the LTEX decals are made from scratch. So those look really good, and those are just the white stripe decals. I did all the weathering on it as well, and detail work. Here's a look at the front. There's all the main details, like I added the details what's the plow, the cables, the coupler bars, the ditch lights, which are custom made. The number boards are numbered, and then it's got the air bell on the roof, which was typical for Southern Pacific units. It's an interesting detail. So basically it came out really good. I did all the striping on the sills, which is highball graphics, yellow reflective safety stripes. Those look really cool. So that's a really nice unit, and came out really good. It goes along well with the 4912 unit here. I run them as a pair often on grain trains. So that's LTEX 9303. And over on this bench is yet another tunnel motor unit. This one is leased by HLCX. It's a former Union Pacific SD40T-2. I can tell it's a former Denver and Rio Grande unit because of the short nose and the most of the features on it. But when they merged with SP and bought when they bought SP, they kept the SP name and they started adding the anti-climbers to their units. So, but this is a former Denver and Rio Grande unit. I can tell by looking at it. Anyways, this is an Athearn RTR model. It's another rare one. This one was produced in like 2009, I think. And anyways, they did 3 of them. Just like the LTX unit, there was HLCX 6112, another 88-inch nosed 40T, and then the other one was a snoot nose unit, but they had varying patch jobs on them. I only have one right now, just because they're rare. I got this one on eBay for a really good deal. It's one I've really wanted for a while, so I'm really happy I got it. It did come with some challenges, though, unfortunately, that were kind of a setback and kind of the reason why they were so cheap. The first problem is it doesn't have a motor. Whoever owned it last, for some stupid reason, removed the improved mechanism and the can motor, all of that inside the unit, so now it's just a dummy, unfortunately. And also, they removed all the lighting in the unit, which was also a setback. Basically, my plans for this unit is I'm going to try to repower it, because I don't want it to be a dummy unit. It's a special locomotive and I want it to be powered, so I'm going to have to try to hunt up a can motor from somewhere now, and it has to be the ready to roll unit motor, so I don't know where I'm going to get one of those, and then I got to conjure up some lights from somewhere. But anyways, another, probably the worst problem with this unit that I got is the fact that it was missing both the front railings and the back railings. And then the side railings were completely damaged. They were like bad. I've never seen them like that bad before. Like it's understandable that these can get damaged or cracked or whatever, but whoever owned this unit was not kind to it, I'll tell you that. The entire section on both sides of the unit, each one of these stanchions was destroyed. They were like, literally, like someone had taken the railing and just ripped it off the unit, literally. The little nubs on each of these stanchions to go into the holes was ripped off. So basically what I had to do, I had to reconstruct each individual stanchion of this handrail, glue them back together, fix them, repaint them, fill in cracks and stuff. And I had to take out, since all those little nubs were still in those drilled holes, I had to take my sharp hobby knife, I had to go in there, pull them and drill them out, and I had to re-drill the holes, and then remount the handrail stanchions all together individually, one at a time, back into those holes. It was a painstaking task. It took me like 2 hours per side to get them fixed. Actually more than that, it was literally like 4 hours. Yeah, it was really bad, but I'm glad that part's over with. One could say, why not just replace the entire set of railings, or get or just simply replace them with a spare package from Athearn? The problem is any tunnel motor, the Athearn tunnel motor railing set is really hard to get. Like in comparison to trying to get handrails for like an SD40-2 or a Jeep or something like that. Those are easy to find, they're everywhere. A tunnel motor, they're not. They're extremely hard to find. So I was really upset about the handrail issue, but then again, what I paid for this unit was like $45, so it's understandable, and I guess I like the challenge. it's alright. But somewhere I'm going to have to try to find new handrails for to replace the ones on the pilot, both pilots. So what I'm going to have to do is probably try to either find take the time and try to find a new set, or make them on my own, which I've done before. I had another unit in my collection over here that when I got it, this was an RTR unit, the handrails were destroyed and I made them from scratch, and you couldn't tell the difference. I really don't want to though, but I might have to if I can't find them. So anyways, one other problem that I had with this unit was the anti-climber. The anti-climber on the front was destroyed. It was actually bent upwards, facing this way, upwards. It was really bad. Like, I'll try to show you the angle. It was literally like that. It was like upwards, like this. It was bad. Like I said, I don't know who owned this unit, but they were not nice to it. We'll put it that way. So, that was yet another setback with this. So what I had to do, I had to take my pliers. I had to carefully get in here, and I had to basically loosen the anti-climber by wiggling it back and forth until the glue in filling the seam gave way and it cracked off. And then I basically had to re-bend it back into shape. And then after all that was done, I cleaned up the seam here where the two pieces of the model and the part meet. This seam right in here, which is shown by a crack. I cleaned that edge, and then I added the anti-climber again. I glued it in place, and it's not going anywhere now. That problem was fixed, but when I basically when I did all that, using pliers and all, it still damaged the anti-climber somewhat, like it had gouges and scratches in it. So what I had to do is I had to get my filler putty and a knife, and I had to one by one I had to fill in each individual crack. Like, there was a big one in here somewhere. There was all kinds of gouges like in the corners. Those were all filled in, cleaned up, re-rounded off. So you can't tell the difference now. It also, just in the process of redoing the anti-climber, destroyed the reflective safety stripe. So what I had to do, I was lucky and I was very fortunate that I had a spare decal laying around that I basically just cut to size, and it was a white decal stripe, and I added it to the anti-climber and it blended right in. So that part's over with, and right now it's just a matter of getting the handrails. Recently there was a package of SD45T-2 handrails on eBay, which I happened to get, and I came to the idea that maybe I could use the 45T-2 handrails, modifying them somewhat to fit the 40T. That didn't work. I realized that on an anti-climber unit between a 45T-2 and a 40T-2, they're completely different, and the arrangement of the handrails is actually different too. So that didn't work, and that was disappointing. On the back, however, the 45T-2 handrails fit the SD40T-2 railing, fit on a 40T-2, which I was lucky about that. The only difference is that on the 45T-2 railings, there are 3 stanchions together. There are 2 together. There's one right beside this one here on both sides. What I had to do is I had to nip those off and then clean up the top of the railings and then fill the hole in where those used to be. So I added that. I modified the stanchions. The actual railing that leads down from the pilot up to the railing is made from brass wire. That's handmade. I bent it into shape. I made all the little curves and stuff like that to fit. So the unit looks, it's coming along, and it's a work in progress, but it won't be 100% complete until I can get that front railing. So I'll have another update on that soon enough once that's complete. But just to finish up with this unit, I'll go over it some more. I did all the detail work, like the cables on the trucks. All the weathering was done by me. I added the air lines to the roof, new AC unit, new antennas, the ditch lights, the coupler bars, MU cables, the plow, on the opposite side, I added the spare knuckle brackets again. Excuse me. The Union Pacific style MU receptacle, which usually hangs on this handrail here. It's nicknamed the Pepsi can MU receptacle. Interestingly enough. So the unit's looking really good. I kind of finished the patchwork off on this unit to be more prototypical. Like there's these mismatched gray patches where the old numbers used to be in the gray, and they relocated when they renumbered the unit. The numbers went down here on the yellow, and it was just stenciled in black. And then I kind of weathered this decal on the back here to kind of be a little scratched up, so that looks really good. It's basically a mirror image of the real 6112. That's what I was aiming for. So it's looking really good. Also, just to point out, I tried a different weathering technique for this. I noticed in a photo of 6112 that it had these grime stains on the side where it dripped down, mainly around the dynamic blister and then the air filter here. I did this technique for this streaking here. I did this with a brush, and I basically made a wash where you take some warm water, and I took black acrylic, and I basically I mixed them together real lightly, and then with a brush I carefully streaked it down, and with a Q-tip blotted up any extra moisture, just leaving some of the paint behind. And I basically worked it. I did layer after layer of paint until I got it dark enough. So that looks really good. That took me a little time, but it looks really good. So that's HLCX 6112, and that'll be done here soon, just until I can get the new railing. So I'll go ahead and move on to something else. Alright, also recently, what I've got, I purchased these on eBay, and I'm really happy to have them. I got these two custom painted Farmers Co-op covered hoppers. These are actually a very special run of cars that were custom painted by Hobby Haven in Des Moines, Iowa. You can see right here. These are Athearn models, the original Athearn 54-foot hopper kits. And then they custom painted these, and the paint jobs on these are amazing. They did an excellent job. The painting on the lettering is extremely crisp. It's clean. It looks really nice. They did a really good job on these. And these are extremely rare too. They only did a few of these cars. So I'm really happy to have them. I got them in a set for like $70, which is expensive, but being eBay, I had to fight off a few other bidders to win them. And in the end, I got them. So I'm really happy to have them now. And they look great in my fleet of classic 54-foot covered hoppers. Since I collect them, they make a really nice addition to my collection. And I have like 40-something mismatched covered hoppers right now. This is only a few of them, but they definitely make a nice addition to my collection. So those are just two car kits I got recently. And the last thing I want to show you is another tagging project of mine. I brought this tag back because it was very popular when I started doing these a few years ago, based on a real tag that I had seen on another covered hopper. I have this Athearn RTR chemical covered hopper, and I basically did this tag on this car. You may remember this tag. I started doing these, like I said, several years ago. It kind of brought... I remember seeing this car years ago on a manifest that came by my house, and I remember seeing it on... I think it was like... It was an old battered covered hopper of some sort. It was very similar to this one, but it was a lot dirtier. Anyways, it had that exact tag. Basically, that was a few years ago, and I kind of forgot about it. It was only a few years later that I saw the car again, and it still pretty much looked the same, and it reminded me of this car. So I wanted to model this, So what I did, I started kind of looking around, trying to find this particular model of car. Long story short, I never did, but one day while searching on the internet under this tag name, I found the guy's work. And basically, I was able to bring it back, and I started doing these cars for my collection. And it ended up being that they got so popular, everyone was asking me, like, hey man, could you do me one, or like that, like asking me to make them one or sell them. So what I started doing, I started mass producing these tags on certain rail cars, and I started selling them off. I had 2 in my collection, and I kind of got to a point where enough is enough. I'm not going to do this anymore. I got tired of it. I had made like quite a few of them at this point. I was done with it, and basically I didn't want to make another one, so what I did was I ended up taking both my cars and selling them to different people since they wanted them. I ended up not having the car, but I lost the 2, but it's alright. Anyways, later on, I kind of wanted the tag back, so what I did, I pulled the picture back up, and with this covered hopper, redid it. And I'll go ahead and show you the real tag, which is right here. Here's my model of the car. And this isn't actually the car, this is the same tag, but it's on a different backdrop, which is a wall. And basically, it's all freehand. I did all the outlines and everything freehand, all the fine detail work there. The only thing that's left to add now is the character, the giraffe. Sorry about that. To right here. That'll be the last thing I do, but that'll be a little more complex because that's a lot more finer detail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my paint pens for that, since it's a lot more detailed. So basically, that car is almost done, and I'm not going to sell this one. This is going to be for my own collection. I won't sell it this time because I don't want to repeat that. So it's almost done, and it'll be done here when I get some more free time. I'll work on it. Like, it should be done here in another week or so. Just to point out about this tag also, it's one of the things that makes it interesting is you'll notice it's a rip-off of Toys R Us. It's kind of funny. So I like tags like that where they kind of like copy something from the real world and then use it for their use. I think that's kind of cool. So I wanted to model this tag again. So that's that. That'll be done soon, and I'll have another video of that once that's complete. So basically that's it for now, but I'm sure I'll have some more stuff coming up soon. I got a lot more. Well, actually, yeah, I do. I think I have some more. I might have some more AWVR units. I don't know. I think I do. I don't know if I'll make a video of those or not. We'll see what happens. But I'll have some more stuff to show you here in another couple weeks, so you guys can stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more.